America fell in love with her as Lizzie McGuire.
I'm Lizzie McGuire.
Everybody, the press, the crowd was just, Lizzie McGuire.
All the things I was going through, they would write in the script. I want a bra, okay?
Lizzie grew up fast.
Hilary pulled over and was like, dude, like, what do I have to do for you to stop following me?
There's so much drama and stuff that's made up, and the whole world reads about it.
But I mean, you gotta draw a line somewhere. Personal life is personal.
But nothing's personal when you're Hilary Duff.
I said, you know what? I want you two to kiss.
He asked me for my phone number in front of all these people, and I couldn't say no.
He was in a rock band, he had tattoos. I'm like, what is going on here?
Get ready to meet the tween queen.
But a girl's gotta do what a girl's gotta do.
Who built an entertainment empire.
I had no idea she made as much money as she did.
I'm not a brand, I'm a person.
This is Hilary Duff Revealed.
I feel so stupid. I feel like I'm getting so choked up. Here we go. Hi, guys.
Hilary Earhart Duff was born on September 28, 1987. She grew up in the suburbs of Houston, Texas, with her older sister, Haley. The sisters shared an all-American upbringing.
We feel lucky that we got to live somewhere where we had like land and room to go outside and like play in a yard.
We didn't have to worry about anything.
Dad Bob Duff co-owned a chain of convenience stores. Mom Susan was a homemaker. In 1992, the family moved to a new house just outside of San Antonio.
My dad would still have to drive back for half the week and work and then come and see us on the weekends.
With her husband in Houston, Susan Duff had plenty of time to bond with her girls as they bonded with each other.
Even when I got old enough to go on like sleepovers and stuff like that at my friend's house, I was always like, can I bring my sister with me?
Haley was very protective of Hilary, very protective.
As mean as you'll be to each other, no one can be mean to your sister and no one can be mean to you if your sister's watching, you know? It's like, can't cross them.
Hilary and Haley attended school at St. Mary's Hall, where they both began to blossom.
I started taking acting classes and then she kind of teased me at first because she was into sports and she thought it was kind of girly that I was doing that.
She got involved with school plays, and since she did it, I really wanted to do it as well. Just, I think, because she's my older sister and I wanted to be just like her.
Dance instructor Marcia Holloman encouraged the girls to express themselves.
Mrs. Holloman was the person that really pushed Hilary and I to dance and to work really hard at it.
In 1995, Ballet Met came to San Antonio for the first time, and they were going to do a very original Nutcracker. And we had auditions at St. Mary's Hall.
The Duff sisters were shoo-ins.
I played a mouse and a shrunken king rat.
Hilary's over here. She's this little rat. And she always came in the wrong direction.
It wasn't like we were just doing a school play or something. This was like professional dancers and professional choreographers and, you know, an audience every night.
But I wasn't scared. I don't remember being scared. When I was younger, I wanted to get any attention I could.
In October 1996, a film crew rolled into town to shoot the TV movie True Women with Angelina Jolie. Bob Duff spotted an opportunity.
They wanted to use our ranch because our ranch has a lot of history. And my dad was like, sure, you can film the movie there, but you have to put my girls in the movie.
We were like background on the movie. One day they gave Hilary and I lines and it was done after that. We were like, we want to do this forever. We went and got like little agents in San Antonio.
Hilary started getting these different auditions for modeling and for small TV things.
Can he get the Disney Channel?
The dad comes in with a TV on his head. It was one of her first commercials.
We were like, if we go to California, we can go on real auditions. We convinced our parents somehow to let us come to California.
Hilary and Haley headed west with their mom.
We came out for a month the first time. I booked the first commercial audition I went on. Hill booked her first commercial that she went on. And then after that, our month was up, so we went home. And we kind of thought like, wow, that was really easy.
So easy that Susan began shuttling the girls back and forth between Texas and LA. On the coast, they set up camp at the Oakwood Apartments in Burbank.
Every kid that lives at Oakwood is there to become an actor. There's definitely the kids and the mothers that, are very competitive and like, well, what did your daughter audition for?
There's be like moms and stuff that were kind of like gossipy, and so you'd always hear your mom be like, don't talk about the auditions are going on, because you don't want them to like get in on that.
My mom, I feel bad for her. She like hibernated in the apartment. She wasn't never really a part of that. And she would just read books and try and figure out how this whole thing worked.
Susan learned fast. In 1997, 10-year-old Hilary auditioned for a lead role in the direct-to-video movie, Casper Meets Wendy.
We saw hundreds of girls, and then Hilary Duff walked in. The whole room realized there was somebody special in the room, and she just sparkled. She didn't have a lot of experience or anything, but she'd say the lines, and you just couldn't take your eyes off her. But I said, I have to get her in this film.
We were, like, ecstatic, like, beyond the moon. We thought that was the biggest thing that had ever happened to anyone in the world.
Mrs. Duff decided they should move to L.A. permanently.
We packed up, as much as we could. We drove with our Chihuahua, little dog, a fish, Hilary's hermit crabs.
We had like pots, pans, luggage. And we had a dog, a rabbit, a mouse, and 3 fish. I held fish for 2 days in the car.
Mr. Duff held down the fort in Texas, but promised to visit at least twice a month.
He thought we were a little crazy at first, but my dad has never been the dad that wasn't supportive or was like, you can't do this. So, he was like, go and do the best job you can, and I never want to see tears if you don't get something.
In L.A., it was Susan's job to keep the girls on track.
It was such a sacrifice for her. She had no friends here, nobody that she knew.
The girls, don't have their father with them. They leave their friends and their normal school routines. But it doesn't feel like sacrifices. It feels like trade-offs.
Once the Duffs settled in, Hilary got to work on her first film.
Hilary Duff plays Wendy, who is my niece, and she is a little witch. She's just had that spark, She had that karma about her, and she just had amazing talent. She took direction really well.
I just have good experiences from that, but kind of embarrassing stories because I was so young and so green. One funny story about filming Casper was there was a scene where I was supposed to be chasing this goat.
When you work with animals, you have to like call their name and you shake noises over here, shake noises over there to get their attention to look. And the goat's name happened to be Meaner.
And I didn't know that his name was Meaner, but I know that Sean kept yelling out during the scene.
I'm going, Meaner, Meaner. And I run over here and I go, Meaner, Meaner, Meaner.
So we did about 10 takes, and each time I was like trying to make this really mean, angry face, and because I thought he was yelling at me, Meaner, Meaner. Like, get meaner, Meaner, show a meaner face. And I was like really confused, but I just did anything anybody told me to do.
And then I realized she was listening to my direction, trying to make her face as mean as possible.
I mean, who would name a goat Meaner anyway?
Casper Meets Wendy hit stores in September 1998.
They had buses plastered and shrink-wrapped with Casper Meets Wendy, and Hilary in her little Wendy suit with the broom and stuff. Every time we saw a bus, we just would scream.
Casper Meets Wendy was extremely successful. I think that's where people started to fall in love with Hilary Duff.
But Hilary still had a long way to go.
Sometimes, I would go on 15 auditions and not get a call back or something. And my mom always taught my sister and I to be able to handle rejection really well. And she saw that Haley and I got upset. She'd be like, what are you guys doing? Like, no, none of that. We're gonna go home if you're gonna take this personally, because that's just not how it works out here.
She said, if you come home from an audition and you cry, we're packing up the apartment and we're going back to Houston.
Hilary had no time for a bruised ego. In 1999, she landed her first sitcom role.
I had booked finally a TV show called Daddy-O with Michael Chiklis.
We were really excited about Daddy-O because it was a network show, We thought, she could be on the show forever.
But the actress was in for a rude awakening.
I did the pilot, and then after the pilot, I got replaced by 2 kids, and I was heartbroken. I thought, oh my God, they hate me. They thought I did terrible.
Hilary was like, I'm quitting. I'm not acting anymore. I don't want to have anything to do with this.
So I think she just wanted to be a kid for a second and go back home, go see her dad and her friends.
My mom was like, all right, let's go back to Texas. Let's quit the madness of this place. Let's go home.
July 2000, execs at the Disney Network greenlit a comedy pilot about a wacky schoolgirl named Lizzie McGuire. Now, all they had to do was find the perfect Lizzie.
What I was looking for was someone who was immensely likable and immensely relatable. And without having someone special, it wouldn't fly.
Enter Hilary Duff. The 12-year-old was still smarting from getting fired off the sitcom Daddy-O.
I went home for a little while, and my manager called and was like, Disney really wants you to go on an audition. They knew who I was because I auditioned for them so many times. And I was like, no, I'm done. I want a big break. I don't want to do that anymore.
We're like, a Disney show? No way. You know, they just, took her off of another show. She's not going to get it. We were kind of in like a negative state of mind that day.
I just kept reading actors, trying to find someone that could embody the part. Probably considered, I would say, 400 or 500 people.
My manager kept calling, please, one more time, come out here and visit, And I was like, if I go out there and go on the audition and don't even really care about the audition, I get to see all my friends. So I came and I saw all my friends and I went in and I did a terrible job because I hadn't read my lines.
I was very honest about it and said, you need to get more into the character, and I was trying to give her some direction because I knew there was so much there.
She was kind of like, no one's told me I ever did like a bad job in an audition,
And then I started to feel the challenge all over again. That feeling that I love to feel. I think it just really inspired me to go in and knock them dead the next time.
And she did. And she was better. And even cuter.
She was natural, and there was enough there that you just knew that there was a gigantic spark.
There was some stiff competition.
There was a great pool of talent that included Lindsay Lohan, Sarah Paxton, Holly Hirsch, all of whom were terrific, and we were very excited about presenting to the network.
But Hilary's mom wanted to spare her daughter any further heartbreak.
Her mother found out that my producer wanted another actress and pulled her out and said, I'm not going to test her because I don't want to put my daughter through this. Look, this other girl's not going to get it. Hilary's going to get this part. Please put her back in the mix. I'm telling you she's going to get this part. I just felt it. So the mother said, okay, and they put her back in.
Hilary still had to jump through hoops, almost literally.
5 auditions. And each time, more and more people are in the room, so it gets more and more intimidating. And they would ask you to do crazy things. They would be like, what can you do? What are your special talents? And anything funny. And I was like walking around the room on my hands, like upside down, and they all laughed.
Hilary was just so cute and so likable and so real that even though the other actors may have had more training and more work and stuff, we all just sort of kept on gravitating and saying, it's really kind of her.
There was something about her. She was somewhere between a young Shirley Temple and a young Marilyn Monroe. She lit up the screen.
They loved her, and then about a few days later, they told us that Hilary was a choice.
I remember getting the phone call and just all 4 of us like screaming at the top of our lungs, so excited, because right off the top we knew that show was going to be a good show for her.
But the pilot didn't live up to expectations. Lizzie McGuire fell flat on screen.
I hated it. I thought it was really, really boring. I remember early on the Disney Channel being absolutely convinced that Hilary couldn't act. And insisting that we bring in an acting coach for her.
So they brought in Troy Rowland to really work with all the kids on the show as a way just to kind of run lines with them, make sure they understood sort of the beats of the scene, and to kind of help them focus.
After the experience of Daddy-O, we thought, oh my gosh, they're bringing this guy in because they don't like her. We thought, oh my God, she's going to get replaced again.
The veteran acting guru sized up the situation, paying special attention to Hilary.
I walked on set and I saw this little teeny young lady just with a high voice talking really fast, and I said, wow, this is a pretty interesting young lady.
We saw him come in and we're like, I just don't know how this is going to work.
Troy is a pretty big, intimidating looking guy. And, you know, Hilary and the rest of the cast are these 12-year-old kids pretty much.
So we gave Troy a pretty hard time the first, week or two he was there. And then Troy finally sat her down and was like, I'm not here because you're going somewhere. You're here for good. I'm here to help everyone.
With the ice broken, the star got down to business. Her salary, a very grown-up $15,000 per episode. Duff earned every penny.
It was definitely a lot of work. If you think about it, I was in the A story and the B story because the TV show, it was all about me. Legally, I could work a 9.5-hour day, and that included 3 hours of school.
I think a lot of people try to make it like she, was this overnight thing, but she worked really hard to be where she is.
By 2001, Lizzie McGuire was the Disney Channel's #1 show, and Hilary Duff its hottest star. Producers made the most of their leading lady.
She was very athletic, and that began to give us the idea that we could integrate physical comedy into the show.
And we did one episode where we needed to do a dance sequence. And she's like, well, I can do handsprings. I'm like, what?
And we were like, oh, let's get a stunt woman to do it. No, I can do it.
She's wearing these big high-heeled boots.
She did this whole series of, Blues Brothers handsprings, like right down the hallway.
Lizzie would take a locker door in the face almost every episode, or trip and fall every episode, and she always did her own stunts. Without pads or without anything, and it became part of the signature of what Lizzie McGuire was.
She's just trying to find herself, and she's a big klutz. And I think that's why so many people related with her, because, she was just totally normal. But a girl's gotta do what a girl's gotta do.
Still, studio execs didn't want too much reality. Case in point, an episode titled Between a Rock and a Bra Place.
I want a bra, okay? A bra! A bra! We want a bra!
We wanted to do an episode where Lizzie decided she wanted her first bra. They said, oh my God, you can't do that, because it was a little bit groundbreaking at the time for Disney.
This is very much a girl issue. And we've tried to be very even in our programming and relating to boys as well as girls. And I think the decision was the right decision, which obviously was to do the story because this is part of life.
I want a bra! Ew, that's disgusting.
The embarrassment of having to go bra shopping with your mother is funny, very real.
We are shopping for their first bras. This is so cool!
Hilary could totally relate.
Where she was going through the same thing about the bra. Where she was developing and she had to, she wanted to go buy a bra.
Miranda, I think I need my mom. When I was filming Lizzie McGuire, so much of that character was just me. Like, I was totally at that awkward stage where you don't know who you are and you feel really uncomfortable all the time, and you're really, I guess, trying to find yourself. All the things I was going through, they would write in the script.
The series targeted an untapped audience, 9 to 14-year-olds. Hilary Duff quickly became known as the tween queen.
They totally saw themselves in that character. They didn't aspire to want to be her. They thought they were her.
People just started recognizing her. The minute the show came out, it was like, that was it.
I realized how huge the show was one day when Hilary called me. She couldn't get through them all. Everybody, the press, the crowd was just, Lizzie McGuire, Lizzie, 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 Lizzie. We were in Florida, and about 3,000 people came to a signing for Hilary to do. And we literally were not in control of our environment. We had our security guys all around, so we were lifted up off of our feet and thrown in like a van and just barreled through the crowd. People were falling over, almost getting hit. And at that moment, I knew that it was crazy, that Lizzie was just out there, and Hilary with it.
Lizzie McGuire also attracted several heartthrob guests, including Steven Tyler, Frankie Muniz, and pop star Aaron Carter.
Back up and tell me who this Aaron Carter is.
Okay, he's a singer, a dancer, and he's only 13.
And I remember sitting up in hair and makeup with the two of them and watching them laugh and giggle, and he was keeping her company when she was getting her hair done and sort of sitting in his chair and like swinging back and forth. And yeah, there was a little chemistry there.
But I could tell it was something going on. But he was very nervous. People think, oh, guys are so cool, but here he is on the most popular show, Lizzie McGuire, having to kiss her in front of 50 people.
It's a little embarrassing between them because it wasn't the most private of places. It was Lizzie's first half kiss.
We just became friends and started talking and exchanged numbers and hung out a couple times. And it was so weird because he was touring and just always gone. So he would come in town and we'd meet up.
But Carter's legions of female fans gave Hilary grief.
Nobody wants their heartthrob to be going out with anybody because then it makes them not available, really, as if they were ever really available.
People get really vicious. So she got a lot of people, saying stuff when she went places. Why are you dating him?
I think that's the story with anybody that you date. If they're famous or they're, they have some kind of a following where girls go crazy over them.